morning, YouTube. Good morning. How y'all doing today? I ain't shaved up yet. I ain't putting no moisturizer on my face either. But man, I'm finna bring y'all just a little reach out a little section out my recovery Bible. You know what I'm saying? You know, I really like this book. It's a real interesting book. You know what I'm saying? Life recovery. You know what I'm saying? Basic instructions before leaving Earth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Personal size. Get y'all one of these, man. This book's really interesting right here, this Bible. So I'm gonna start off with a secure environment is helpful for any rebuilding project. When we lack physical safety and emotional stability, it is difficult to concentrate on the job at hand. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna read that back to y'all again. A secure environment is helpful for any rebuilding project. When we lack physical safety and emotional stability, it is difficult to concentrate on the job at hand. To me, that's saying, you know, get somewhere safe, like a secure environment, like that's somewhere safe, you know, it's just a safe place, you know what I'm saying? And then you want physical safety. When we lack physical safety, that means when you you know, physical mean when you weak, you know what I'm saying? Your physical safety, or when we lack physical safety, that means when you're weak and emotional stability. You know what I'm saying? When you lack those things, that you're weak, you know what I'm saying? You're very vulnerable, you know what I'm saying, to subject. You're very vulnerable to relapse. It's difficult to concentrate on the job at hand. So when you emotionally and physically unstable, when you lack those things, you're more vulnerable to fall back into your addiction. That's what that means to me. So you got to get a secure environment. You know what I'm saying? That means don't go back to the slums where the drugs at. Don't go back, you know what I'm saying, where you was. You know what I'm saying? Where you was at. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not a secure environment for you. You know what I'm saying? It's an unhealthy environment. You very vulnerable to falling back into your addiction. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you gotta have these things to keep moving and stay strong. You know what I'm saying? And concentrate at the job at hand. So if you got a task, you don't want to be you got a job to do, you don't want to be around no distractions like prostitutes, drugs, you know what I'm saying, drug dealers, drug infested neighborhoods. You don't want to be around none of that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what I get out of that right there. That was just my morning reading to y'all, let y'all know, I'm really into this book. I like this book. Matter of fact, we gonna go on ahead. You know what I'm saying? We gonna go on ahead. The people of Jerusalem had no physical security. The city wall had been piles of rubble for over 100 years. They didn't have real security. Like they didn't have a solid wall. You know what I'm saying? Like a solid wall, a solid gate, or nothing to keep the enemy out of there. You know what I'm saying? So it say the city wall had been piles of rubble for over 100 years. They was insecure for over 100 years. They didn't have no security for over 100 years. The temple had been rebuilt many years before. I mean, they had rebuilt the temple and all, but they just didn't they didn't secure the wall. See, it says the temple had been many years before, but the wall around Jerusalem was still in despair. I mean, it was still weak, and the gates had been burned. That means they didn't have no real security. You know what I'm saying? No solid security. Walls are important boundaries. Walls are important boundaries. That's something that comes between, you put up a boundary, like a limit, you know what I'm saying? So they didn't have that limit. They didn't have that boundary, you know what I'm saying? Like security. They didn't have that them boundaries. You know what I'm saying? They didn't secure themselves. They didn't put up the walls, the fences, and the gates that they needed to protect themselves. They protect and shelter inhabitants who live inside and repel destructive intruders from outside. Okay. In the ancient Near East, the city without walls was vulnerable. I told you, vulnerable to raid and all kinds of harassment. So they were real vulnerable. And, they were just getting raided. You know what I'm saying? People running up in their stuff, without permission. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't have the proper security. You know what I'm saying? And they were getting harassed and raided. You know, it was unthinkable. It was in this unstable situation that Ezra encouraged the Jews to rebuild their nation and their lives. You know? So Ezra encouraged the Jews to rebuild their nation and their lives, meaning, you know, do something different. You know what I'm saying? Rebuild. You know what I'm saying? And have structure. You know what I'm saying? This time, all that way. You know what I'm saying? Okay. At this time, Nehemiah, you know what I'm saying? My friend Lewis got a place called the Men of Nehemiah. If you want to Dallas, Texas area, you need help on stability, you need to build yourself back up. You need strength. You need to go to the Men of Nehemiah. You know what I'm saying? At this time, Nehemiah worked as a cupbearer for King Artaxerxes of Persia. When Nehemiah heard about the situation that Ezra faced in Jerusalem, he literally sat down and wept. Okay. He cried because the people didn't have the proper security and they were in there getting slain, they were getting slaughtered, harassed, they just getting bullied on, you know what I'm saying? Because they didn't have the proper boundaries, they didn't have the proper security, like people could come in there at any time, you know what I'm saying, and do what they want to do, you know. Nehemiah informed King Artaxerxes of the problem. He was given permission to lead a group of Jews back to Jerusalem. He took responsibility for encouraging the people to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. So he kind of hyped them up. He encouraged the people to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. Cause they was getting all these messages, how they was getting slain, how they was getting slaughtered, how they was getting harassed and all that. So he encouraged the people to rebuild the wall. Cause like I say, it was all rebels. Anybody can get in there anytime and do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have the proper security. They didn't have boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So he encouraged them to get that. You know what I'm saying? And do that. Like put the wall up and all that, secure themselves the proper way. Nehemiah organizational skills and leadership ability overcame both internal and external resistance to the rebuilding project. In the end, by trusting God and pulling together, the people completed the task of rebuilding the wall. So, he motivated them to, do that. Or, because you got to do that. More people going die, really, you know what I'm saying? Because the other folks were coming in there doing whatever they want to do. Rape, killing, stealing, destroying stuff, just bullying on them, treating them real bad, you know what I'm saying? So they had to get protection. They had to set a boundary, you know what I'm saying? Like put up a guard or something for the other people. It wouldn't be so easy for them to come in there and bully on them, you know what I mean? When the work was completed, Nehemiah joined with Ezra to encourage the people to rebuild their lives, their cultures, and proper worship of God. So he taught them how to live, basically. You know what I'm saying? Showed them, encouraged them to rebuild their culture, showed them how to worship God the proper way, showed, probably praying, giving offerings, you know what I'm saying? Worshiping Him, all that, you know what I'm saying? Together, with God's help, they led the people out. They led the people in the recovery of the spiritual heritage. So he just led the people back to God. really, you know what I'm saying? Like he showed them how to pray again, showed them how to be happy, rebuild our lives, showed them, why they didn't have to be slaves and all that. Yep, yep. Get the people into the recovery. Well, that's all I want to share with y'all this morning, man. We 10 minutes in. You know what I'm talking about? I'm about to go outside, uh, drink me a cup of coffee. You know, again, look, this is Nehemiah. I like this book because my friend Lewis, Colonel Lewis, he got a place called The Man of Nehemiah. You know what I'm saying? And his logo is like some tools, picks, axes, hammers, and stuff. That's his logo. So he's giving y'all the tools to rebuild y'all life. You know what I'm saying? Giving y'all the tools to rebuild y'all life. You know, if you're in the Dallas, Texas area, go over there and check out the Men of Nehemiah, man. It's a very good program. You know what I'm saying? But now, just gonna go outside, get us some of this sunshine, drink on this cup of coffee, and I'm gonna see if I can bring y'all some good YouTube news. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably do that. I'll probably do that later on, though. But right now, y'all into the word. I just broke it down to y'all what I think it means and everything. So, I'm at about 12 minutes in, you know what I'm saying? So I normally go a good 15 minutes, but I'm gonna let y'all go at 12 minutes. I don't want to hold y'all up. I know it's something y'all could be doing, but that's just a message I wanted to put out there to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Peace. Have a very good day. I'm gone.